West Ham Fan TV. Back once again with West Ham Fan TV live and uncut. Obviously, we couldn't do it Thursday because we was at a game. And obviously, there's a lot of news to talk about, so we thought we'd better jump into one here. Well, it's been a fucking mental 24 hours, mate. It's been crazy. Pellegrini out, and we've just got an announcement.
Yeah, just literally been announced now. David Moyes is our new manager. I'll be honest, man, I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. It's as you said, it's been a crazy 24 hours. I mean, this time last night we were standing outside the London Stadium doing a live reaction to the news that Pellegrini's gone. And yeah, David Moyes is in. So this is obviously hasn't just been done overnight. This has been probably a couple of weeks in the making, this, because David Moyes would not come back to the club on a 6-month deal. We know it's an 18-month deal now. Probably got a option of a further year. Honestly, mate, I've got mixed emotions over it, if I'm honest. I've got mixed emotions because I think out of the realistic options that we had, he's probably the best choice. I don't know, when you got someone like Kovac out of work, maybe the board could have shown a little bit of ambition to get the fans back on side a little bit and maybe gone for him. But look, it is what it is. David Moyes is the new manager.
Did they mention a time frame of contract or whatever?
I think it's 18 months. I think it's 18 months. I haven't really read through the statement on the website yet. They haven't really released much, but I think what everyone's been going on, like all the main websites and the insiders and that, it's about 18 months. So, yeah, as I said, mate, I'm split over it. I'm in two minds.
To be fair, I thought the football under David Moyes was trash at times. He's definitely not my cup of tea, if I'm honest. But the thing is I think for me, you know, if memory serves me right, it was 18 months ago, like about now, that he come in, didn't he? Did he come in in January?
Well, no, it was November time.
November, okay.
So,
it wasn't fantastic, but I've got to say, he was working with a team that wasn't his team. Didn't do great things in a transfer market with Hugh Gill.
Yeah, he looked after Preston.
Yeah, he looks after Preston. Listen, my initial thoughts to this: he got an Arnautovic plan when he was trash. He could turn Haller into the striker he wants to be. There are some better players there now. But if they're going to name him on an 18-month contract, and this is what worries me about the West Ham board, right, that January is just a few days away. You know what I mean? If this has been going for a little while, you know, he might have some targets in mind. I don't know. I'm very honest, but it's just he might have some targets in mind, but they've got to give him the money. There is definite holes in this team that needs plugging, and he needs to go out there and find some fucking good players. We need a midfielder, we need a defender, we need a right or left back or both, and we need another centre forward, a good quality one as well. And I don't know. It's a fucking mess.
Listen, David Moyes will have sat in meetings with the owners for the last couple of weeks. That's how it works, unfortunately. He will have identified targets that he's got. As I said, look, we can sit here all night thinking, what do we need in that team? We know what we need. It's not hard, but the core of it is we have got a good group of players there. He got the best out of Marko Arnautovic, David Moyes, as you said, when he came into the club last time. Maybe if he could get the best out of Felipe Anderson and a player like Yarmolenko as well. When he come into the club, I remember that at that time they were very unfit. He got them fitter. It's a tough one, mate, because I'm disappointed. I am disappointed that we've gone down this road again, and I feel it's a bit embarrassing for the club that they've had to sort of backtrack and go to David Moyes, the man that they didn't think, because really 18 months ago they should have maybe backed him a bit and give him the money and just said, all right, here's a 2-year deal now. You've kept us up. You've done what you said you was going to do. But they went for Pellegrini. All the fans wanted a big name manager. We went and got Pellegrini. Obviously, it hasn't worked out. And sometimes, as I said last night on the reaction, sometimes you have to look at us as a club, and maybe the level we are is sort of the David Moyes type managers. But I still think that we could have gone out and we should have bent over backwards to get someone like Kovac, or even Eddie Howe or Chris Wilder at Sheffield United. I think he would have been a brilliant appointment. I mean, someone said earlier on that apparently it was only Chris Hughton and David Moyes that was up for the job because they didn't want to pay compensation for anyone. But Kovac is out of work, so they wouldn't have had to pay nothing for him. They just basically what they want to do this season is keep us up. It wouldn't surprise me if they kept us up, if David Moyes kept us up, and then midway next season we're having the same conversation again. It's David Moyes out, and we're looking for another manager.
Dave Purdy, thanks for everyone that's in the chat at the moment. We'll get to you guys in a minute. No other manager would have taken the poison chalice of a job.
That ain't wine. It ain't wine. That's just a big bottle.
Is that what it's driven you to?
It's driven me to, yeah. I couldn't be bothered to get a glass.
No other manager would have taken this poison chalice as a job with them owners, which I think is a good point. The thing is, mate, for me, is I don't think it's, I don't think, although it's an embarrassing sort of situation for the club, the two people that are in charge of the club ain't going to be embarrassed. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. As long as they're looking after their pocket. Someone just said there, Luke Moody, Moyes is a cheap option. I remember them paying him 10k a week last time. He won't be on much more now, I'm sure. We need to get to the summer, no matter what happens now, right? We need to get to the summer. And as I said before, I said this a couple of weeks ago, the whole club from top to bottom need revamps. And you know what needs to stop from the very start? And this goes back to Mark Noble at the bowling and things like that. What needs to stop is the fucking leaks. The leaks out of this club need to stop, because all I've seen on Twitter for the last 24 hours is Moyes. We knew Moyes had the job yesterday, like more or less. You know what I mean? Like, somebody is leaking this information. Somebody is leaking this information to the press. Somebody's leaking this information out to the fans. This needs to stop. That's the first thing they need to stop. Stop leaking every single little bit of fucking news out of our club, because when you get to managers and players and things like that, do you think that Roberto and Sanchez and all that want to see? It's bad enough when the fans are on your back, but do you think they want to log onto websites and see that people within inside the club are saying, "Oh no, these are shit players. These are shit players." It makes the whole fucking club poison, and this comes from the owners. This comes from the owners. I don't care. I know there are various sources around the club. I know there are this and I know there are that, but ultimately, the whole fucking thing comes from the owners. We know the owners leak people information. That needs to stop, right? The poison chalice that is social media, even if you've got to get off the fucking thing, just get off of it. You know what I mean? Like, they don't need all of this crap all of the time. And that sort of environment in a workplace, when it's so badly run, when people are doing things and not, there are people running around their club, fucking going behind people's backs, making themselves a little bit of money on us. I'm sure of it, right? This is where all this shit comes from. But that sort of thing breeds negativity within the club. It breeds unprofessional, and let's be honest, from the players to the backroom staff, to the manager, to the fucking chairman, all the way through, it's unprofessional. The whole club is unprofessional. It lacks direction. Everyone seems to be there just to get a fucking pound note. That's the problem. Players are coming here to the 60,000 seater stadium and thinking, I'll fucking go there for a couple of years, earn a fucking couple of $100,000 a week, blah, 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 blah. The whole club is unprofessional. The whole club is just rotten from within. And the ways to stop the rot, like a tooth, is you've got to fill the gap, fill the root, stop the fucking rot from the inside. Because if you don't do that, eventually, like we've flirted with this too many times in this stadium, and I've said this so many times. If we go down with this in this fucking stadium, we are gone. We're finished as a club. And we don't want to see that. And the thing that's the differences between now and Burnley, right? And I see people fucking posting things up on Twitter and things like that. The difference between now and Burnley is people are, we've been down this route already. We've been down the protest route and all of that sort of thing. They thought they sorted it out. They just went back to their ways, right? And the problem is with them now is that the fans are stopping caring, Ryan. And like, I've seen people, we don't want fans like that anyway. Listen, you can only tell so many lies to people before they disappear off the face of the earth. It's a rotten club to the core, and them three are responsible for it. Them three are Brady, Gold, Sullivan, and people keep on saying to me, it's not gold, it's not gold. It's as much gold as it is fucking Sullivan and Brady. What they need to do is pull these fucking people into offices, stop these leaks, stop running the club like it's a fucking circus, stop trying to just maximize profit, because we're not stupid. We can all see what is going on, right? Everybody within that club is making a pound note of someone else, and that is the problem.
Can I just say one thing? I know about you saying about the leaks and all that. The problem is, mate, you can't stop it when it's coming from the top.
Yeah, exactly.
I was told by someone last week that David Sullivan's one of the main people that leaks it to these websites. So
of course he is.
It's and the thing is, I mean, what they done last night as well. I mean, they didn't even have the bollocks to sack Pellegrini themselves. They sent Brady in to do it.
I've said this before, mate. Lack class, lack empathy, lack the basic social and decency. If they can treat their staff like that, and we've seen it before with Avram Grant, we've seen it before with Sam Allardyce, they fucking treat these people like shit. We've even seen it with David Moyes at the end of the day, right? If they can't treat the people that are meant to be closest to them with any sort of apathy, with any sort of empathy, the people that are sitting in these seats that are just numbers to them, they're not going to treat like that.
Yeah,
and what they need to do,
I totally agree, mate.
And what they need to do is we need to get people in front of them two specifically, and start fucking putting faces to numbers, because they are ruining a football club. They've already ruined a community, and they're ruining what's left of it. And they need to start fucking looking at talking to fans, engaging with fans. I don't agree with some of these fan groups, but they need to start listening to them. They need to start listening to people's. I spoke to a guy before the Leicester game last night from the OSB who told me, you're not allowed to speak about football. This is a fucking football club. You're not allowed to tell me your concerns about the fucking football team or the manager or whatever. What's the point? What's the point? At the end of the day, mate, it's like going to McDonald's and them serving you up a fucking shit sandwich, a shit burger, right? And you turn around and go, I don't like this shit burger. Well, we'll talk about anything with the customers except for the burgers. At the end of the day, mate, that is their product. That is what they're trying to sell to us. That's what we pay our money to get. That's what we pay our money to fucking watch. And they won't listen to fans about the football.
Well, they did listen to fans. They did start listening to fans groups, mate. But then once people, once the fans actually got in and started communicating with the club, the first thing people want to do was slag off them groups. And that's one of the reasons why we're not involved no more. And that's one of the reasons why I won't get involved in the other future groups, because for me, it's you're right. I mean, the club is rotten. We know it is from top to bottom. These other social media groups and that, they fight over each other to break news. I couldn't give a shit. I've been told so much stuff, especially over the last few weeks. I don't put it on Twitter. I wait for other people to do it. I don't need my ego boosting. I'm not that sort of person. Things like that don't bother me. I don't get nothing for it. The only thing you do if you do break a bit of news is you get a bit of grief. So I leave that up to the others to do that. But look, I mean, we can sit here all night and talk about the board and how rotten the club is. We know it is, but Wednesday's going to be interesting now, mate, because we've got Bournemouth at home and David Moyes will be in the dugout. it's. I said this last time David Moyes was appointed. I'll get behind him. Of course, I will. I want any manager we've got who comes in to do well. Is he my first choice? No, but as I said earlier to people on Twitter, all day I've been sitting on Twitter answering people's questions and that. Out of the options that we had, David Moyes was the best option for me because he will keep us up. I still think Pellegrini would have kept us up, but Pellegrini had to go because the team just not performing. I'm hoping now that David Moyes come in. You know, there's rumours that he's going to bring in Stuart Pearce again, same backroom staff. But I'd like to see him add maybe. I said this earlier. I'd like to see Joe Cole maybe come into the coaching staff. James Collins. I think David Moyes obviously had Collins there when he was manager, so he knows him. So I wouldn't mind seeing someone like James Collins on the coaching staff as well. And just getting them players together and giving them a kick up the arse because I looked at our fixtures coming up and we've got some tough fixtures. You know, we've got Bournemouth at home, then we've got the Cup, Gillingham away, which will be tough. Then Sheffield United away on a Friday night. So it might be a good time to bring in a new manager. And let's hope that David Moyes get off to a good start because all of a sudden I'm seeing people already all day on Twitter, all last night on Twitter saying Moyes out, Moyes out, Moyes out. Like, at the end of the day, he's not going nowhere now. He's our manager. He's been confirmed. So let's get behind him. I know it's not great, but it is what it is, and we have to deal with it.
Finley Jackson 01 says West Ham is rotten and toxic. We know this, but we need to unite and come together as a fan base. I've been thinking about this all day about, you know, people getting together and all of that sort of stuff. As I said before, oh God, there are so many people. Sorry, my light swung around there. Sorry. There are so many people that I look like the fucking Emperor at Star Wars now.
Especially that thing by the side of your head, the light coming through.
There are, for me, with this fan base, there are not enough people. There are too many people. Sorry, that don't agree with the way this club should be run. And you know the problem. There, you know, you see all these groups and all these fan sites and all this sort of bollocks. And you know, I got contacted again by a group that want to, you know, get the owners out of the club. I'm not interested in that. Not interested in that. I'm not. You know, I've said this before, and I said this. I'll say it again. We are not a West Ham group. We're not a West Ham, you know, protest group or anything like that. We're a channel. You know what I mean? And I said this before, and I say it again. We sort of forgot our place a little bit the last time around, and we got carried away and dragged people into things that, you know, we shouldn't have grabbed them into. I won't be organising any protests. There are people out there that make that you know, the reason they exist is to sort of like engage with the club and all that sort of thing. And I'm not interested in engaging with the club. You know, the club's the club. I'll just have my say on the club and I'll give people their say on the club. But and I know that might upset a few people because we've got a big platform and, you know, we're seen as one of the big boys and all that sort of thing when it comes to that thing. And that might upset a few people, but I can't do that again because we got, you know, I didn't only get sort of death threats last year. I got, you know, things said about my family and all that sort of thing. I won't do it again because, you know, the fan base is so divided and so, what's the word? Split. Nobody knows, you know, everyone's got an opinion on the way it should be run. And if you don't agree with their opinion, people will never be with you. And I ain't got the time for that. I ain't got the fucking energy for that. And I definitely ain't got the fucking like get go to do that. Right.
Yeah,
but
people
there are too many fan groups, as well as the people that are sort of running this club, right? There are too many fan groups, yeah, that don't necessarily agree, or they do agree in some cases, but they're all clambering over each other to try and be the ones to do the, you know, to be the change. You know?
Everyone wants to be the hero. That's the problem.
Yeah, everybody wants to be the hero. Everyone wants to be the hero, but no one wants to do it by themselves. Yeah, exactly.
The fan. The
Not
thing
interested.
is, people won't know what we went through during that time, you know. But we stuck with it. We got through it. You still get the odd people quoting it and all that. But look, at the end of the day, whatever groups want to go, if there's any groups out there that feel like they can help change the club, then good luck to them. I hope they succeed. I really hope they do, because we want what's best for our football club at the end of the day. As I said I done a radio interview a couple of hours ago, and I said, look, all I want is for West Ham to do our best to be West Ham. When they said about David Moyes, look, as I said earlier, David Moyes is not my first choice. He's probably not a lot of people's first choice. I'd be surprised if you can gather 10 people together that would, if you gather 10 people together, you probably get 9 that say they won't want him. You probably get 10 that say they won't want him. But it is what it is now. I mean, who knows? He could come in and really turn our season around. Fingers crossed. And if we somehow finish this season in the top 10, that'd be an amazing achievement. And we're not far off. We're only a few results away from turning the season round. We've got Fabianski back now, Lanzini back. So who knows, mate? But it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. As I said, I'm mixed. It's probably going to take a couple of days to get used. Well, a couple of days we'll be at home to Bournemouth. So it'll be interesting now going to the stadium. But I really hope that the fans turn up there and get behind David Moyes. Let's fuck the board. Let's show them, like, let's get behind David Moyes. David Moyes.
Don't read my name, says, you man, don't even answer the questions. You might as well do a podcast then. We'll get into the questions, mate. Don't worry. We're going to have our say. Yeah. It's our show, not yours. James Kelly says, Moyes has just come out and he said the great to be home clearly shows his love for West Ham. Listen, I've seen fucking players talking about that sort of crap, mate. That don't mean nothing. And I say it with the time he'd turned us into a devastating force. Look what he did at Everton given time. Long time ago. Game's changed since then. And he needs the backing of chairman. One of the first things he needs to do is get new fullbacks. Their fullbacks are fucking trash. Simple as that. And they're such an important part of the process. Neil Walker says this is a manager couldn't even get another job and has to come back to a job where he knows the owners thought he wasn't good enough for the job full time last time.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Charlie Wilton, Nicky and Ryan, do you think Mark Noble will retire in the Championship?
No. I don't think we're going to go down. At the end of the day, you look at that squad, you look at the fully fit team, we have got a good start in 11. It's just they're lacking so much confidence. You see it last night. You see the way they walked off at the end, and they was getting booed. But I don't think the players were getting booed. I think it was more aimed towards the board and Pellegrini. I mean, as I said, his substitution last night at 1-1. You're at home to Leicester. I ain't going to say a poor Leicester team, but a weaker Leicester team. 1-1 at home, and you take off your record signing and bring on Antonio when you should have really been playing them both up front together to go for the win.
To be fair, mate, it stunk to someone that didn't want the job anymore. That wanted a payoff, that wanted to...
It looked like someone that knew he was getting the sack.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't have an Uber waiting for him on the touchline in his suitcases. That
probably
could have been more obvious.
Did, mate. Nupin Sharma is a Chelsea fan. He's donated £5. Says tips on starting a YouTube football channel. Also, good luck to David Moyes. Wish him all the best with your club. Appreciate that, mate. My tips is don't. Simple as that. Don't bother. You'll only get shit for it. Dartford Hammer Ryan. You're never too good to go down relegated with 42 points back in the day, says Dartford Hammer.
I never said we was too good to go down. I said that I don't think we will go down. I know I was there in 2003. I know we had the Canio, Sinclair, Carrick, Cole and all that. I remember them days. So I'm not going to say that, but I just think that we won't go down. I think we'll stay up.
I agree with Nicky, says Ollie D. I don't like Moyes, but you do not think if maybe the ball backed him, he would get us somewhere. He got us out of relegation with no money. What about with money? The thing about David Moyes, and this is one of the problems. I think he's the typical yes man. If I'm honest, I think he's somebody that they know is going to bend over backwards to do what they want. I'm taking it that they're sacking his staff as well.
I think they're all gone. I think the director of football's gone as well.
Which means who's sorting the transfers out in January?
Probably Jack
It's
Sullivan.
only one man, yeah. Come on, it's
I want, where's Fellaini? What's Fellaini doing lately?
he's in China. Talking
Oh,
about
well,
China.
fuck me.
Talking about China. Did you see that? What's happened now?
Yeah, wage cap.
Wage cap, 49
you
grand
know
a
what
week.
happened? That'll be our first
Only a
signing,
comeback.
Marko Arnautovic.
I'm sure they'll have
Fucking
to honour the ones that are already there. But there is a lot of players there, Ryan. A lot of players that will want to come back.
Mm.
People like
Yeah.
Oscar.
Yeah,
people
there's
like
quite
that.
a few out there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a lot. Hulk. Tyson, I think's out there. Loads of players out there. There's a little if they want to come back, there's a little there's a little
Do you know
treasure,
what?
treasure trove of stuff.
One thing I would say is that I know it sounds silly, but getting a new manager in sometimes not only lifts the fans, which it's going to split the fan base, but it's going to obviously lift the players. The players are being training tomorrow. They'll meet David Moyes for the first time. Some of them are remembering from his last time there. But the new players that were signed since he's gone, like the Pellegrini's players, it'll be the first time to meet him. So maybe they might adapt a bit better. Maybe they need someone to run them into the ground a bit. I know it sounds silly, but go back to old school training, make them feel loved. And someone like Stuart Pearce, I mean, he hasn't been confirmed yet. I don't know if he's joined the backroom staff, but if he does, he was like that last time. He come in, he put his arm around Arnie and said, "Look, you're the best player here. Go out there and show it." And he did. So it's given me I always look forward to going West Ham. For years, win, lose or draw. I know we moan after a game, and we do it now on the YouTube channel. But before we'd done the YouTube channel, we used to moan walking down the Barking Road home together, moaning. But I'm actually looking quite forward to going over there because I'm looking forward to seeing the reaction of the team. Because if we lose the game, God knows what's going to happen.
Well, I think this is a part of the problem with Moyes, mate, because we've already been there, and people didn't like it and all that sort of stuff. I think he's just starting off on a back foot. You know what I mean? Like it's meant to, a new manager is meant to be one of them ones that everyone's got right. We've been through some shit. New fresh ideas, fresh this, fresh that. The thing is with from the last time he came, we've got players like, and I've said this all season. We've got a decent first 11, but when it comes to any sort of depth, we struggle. But the difference between them now, and one thing that I can say about Moyes when he was here, and this is just being a voice of reason, to be quite honest with you, because I'm sick of negativity. He got the attacking players playing well.
Lanzini, I remember Lanzini playing well under him.
Lanzini played well under him. Arnautovic started playing out. Arnautovic turned out to be our best player in years.
Even
Masuaku played well under him.
Yeah.
But if you look at the likes of Antonio, Lanzini, Haller, Anderson, and players like that Funal, who's really starting to come into it, Yarmolenko. If we can get the best out of these players, if he can go out there and get the best out of them players, we would be a force to be reckoned with. We've got the firepower to beat the top teams in the league.
First thing you need to do is
you've got to get the defense playing well.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Get the attack playing well.
Yeah, work from the back. He's got to get that defense sorted. I mean, Winston Reid was on the bench last night. Whether he's fit enough to come in now, be a massive boost. You've obviously got Diop, Balbuena, or Bonner fighting for the two centre backs. Full back, we do need two players in. More left back, I'd say, because right back, I think. I know you got Zabaleta there, in you. I forgot about him, but yeah, we definitely need a couple of fullbacks in the transfer window. We definitely need a striker. We definitely need a striker.
We need to pay big money for a striker as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, if they have to go out and spend 30, 40 million on a striker, then they're going to have to do it because Premier League football's massive for this club. If, as you said earlier, if this club goes down, I think we've struggled to come back up. We've been lucky the last two times we've gone down. But you get relegated there, your gates are going to drop. You're only going to get the average, 30 or 35,000 loyal that are going to turn up. we know people that sit around us that you hear them say, well, if we get relegated, we're not renewing. You know, it's so. As I said earlier, I don't think we're going to go down. I think, you know, what different atmosphere it would be if Moyes come in and say he won his first 3 games. You know, what I don't like is that there's fans out there that want him to foul just to stick their fingers up to the board. And that's what I don't like. As much as we hate the boredom and that, we want West Ham playing well. We want West Ham winning games. We want Premier League football. That's where we have to be. So for these fans that are already saying Moyes out and things like that, look, how about we get behind him and, you know, give him a chance? It might be different. I know people were saying he's got a 29% win rate last time, worse than Pellegrini. He only had 6 months. Pellegrini had 18 months, and I think Pellegrini only had a 31% win ratio. So let's just give him a little bit of time. As you said, he's got a transfer window now. Get a couple of players in. It'll probably be a couple of loans or whatever, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting next 4 weeks, mate.
Kev WHFTV says Moyes have self-confidence. He's strict. He get the players fit and working hard again. Already said it in the comments in another video. We need to bring Diangana back. 4-4-2. Hello with Antonio Anderson, Diangana other side. Moyes brought Rice into the team. Said Candyman. What do you make of Rice farewell to Pellegrini? I haven't seen it, mate. If I'm honest.
Respectful. I thought it was a tweet that Declan Rice put out earlier, just thanking the manager for giving him his opportunity in the first team, which is nice. Which is nice.
Don't read my name. Says lol. Nicky, don't even let Ryan speak. I think you spoke more than me. You're clueless. Connor Eccleston, the ball are clueless and running around in circles. I hope Moyes can get the best out of lads at the end of the day. What a lot of people don't understand is, I'll read this comment in a minute. What a lot of people don't understand is, it's not really David Moyes' fault, is it?
No, this is what I'm saying.
Which is, you know, and I'm guilty of this, Ryan. I'm uninspired by it, but it's not really David Moyes' fault at the end of the day. When you look at the way he's come into the club, it's not his fault. It's not his fault he was brought into the club because we was in shit last time. It's not his fault that he got sacked. It's not his fault that he's brought back. He's not going to say no.
Yeah, last time he come in, he was asked to keep us up. He did. I don't think he was sacked. I think that was the agreement when it was 6 months, and then they mutually. I think that's probably why he's come back, because he wasn't sacked last time. So it was a mutual agreement. He left the club, and as I said there, he come in to do a job which was keep us up, and he did. So, and as you said, it's not his fault. He's been offered the job. You know, it's not his fault. So this is what I'm saying with the fan base, even the fans that don't want him now. Maybe let's just try to get behind him. You know, go there on Wednesday, get behind the players. If we have to sing his name, you know, we've done it with. I mean, they were singing Roberto's name at Crystal Palace because they know players that are low on confidence. Let's get behind them. So if there's a manager, this manager's walking into a club, he don't know what to expect. I mean, I don't think he's got social media, but I'm sure he's got people that will tell him about the fans' reaction. And I'm sure David Moyes strikes me as a sort of person that does care. He doesn't want to see the fan base against him. So he'll want to turn it around as soon as he can. So let's just hope that he does and he gets a win on Wednesday against Bournemouth.
Nick Brown donated £10. Thanks, Nick. The biggest worry for me is the apathy in the fan base. So many people have stopped caring. The ball are toxic, and I worry the Sullivans will be there for generations. Have a beer on me. Come on, you irons. Cheers, will mate. Do, mate. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to everyone that's in the chat, by the way. Miles Avery, what I'm scared about is that Moyes would make Rice back into a centre-back like he played under Moyes. Rice's future is in defensive midfield, in my opinion. Listen, at the moment, it's backs against the wall. You know, man the stations. We need to, we need to do what needs to be done to get out of this situation. IMCLRN, should ex-West Ham employees stop leaking information? Listen, that's down to him. The people that should stop leaking the information is the people that are leaking the information. You know, ex-West Ham employee doesn't work in a club. He's told things and he asks things and he gets told things. And he's got to tell everyone. That's what his stick is, ex-West Ham employee. The people that should stop leaking the information are people within the club that are telling him these things. At the end of the day, that's my opinion anyway. And I like X. X is a friend of mine. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, X is a great bloke. He's a great bloke, and I've got no problem with what he does. Sometimes I even message him saying, "Come on, mate, let me know early," because that's what we are at football fans, isn't you? You're impatient. You want to know straight away, but it's the people in the club. I mean, they can't call themselves professionals when they're leaking information that shouldn't come out of the club and cause. And it's like sometimes they want the rift within the fans. They want the fan base arguing amongst each other because when they are, it takes the
heat off of them.
Takes the heat off the club and the board and the manager.
My biggest issue with Moyes has always been the 9 mil spent on Hugh Gill, with Moyes' brother being his agent. That stinks to me. Just another crook at the helm in it for themselves.
Yeah, that wasn't great, was it?
I heard a lot of people say this at the end of the day, right? Now, it looks bad. It looks fucking bad, to be quite honest with you. But he might have genuinely thought that Hugh Gill would have been a good signing for us. He might have genuinely thought that.
Not only that, I think they sort of bought him because they thought if we do get relegated,
yeah, I think it was a plan to if we go down as well. And you look at Hugh Gill now. I'll be honest with you, right? And people are going to fucking laugh at me. I'll take Hugh Gill on the bench than over a Yeti any day of the fucking week.
I'll take Graham on the bench over a Yeti. I don't even want to. I ain't going to start on him. He's absolutely useless, isn't he? Get him out of the club in January. I don't even think we can. I think he's already played for another 2 clubs, so I don't think we can. So, yeah, well, let's hope David Moyes turns him into a world-class striker. Imagine that. Moyes comes in, we win games, and he gets a Yeti scoring. Give him a 5-year deal.
So, Bama, should we get him back to allow Moyes a chance to prove himself? Diangana, I think he's talking about there.
Well, it could be either Diangana or Hugo. I mean, I'd take Diangana back tomorrow, but I don't think it'll happen. But then again, Pellegrini was the one that said that he didn't want him back for the rest of the season. It's not down to him now. It's down to David Moyes. And I'm sure David Moyes has probably been watching a lot of Championship football while he's been out of work. And Diangana's been setting it alight down now, even though they lost at home today. Did you just quickly, did you see that Birmingham Leeds game earlier?
No.
5-4 to Leeds. Oh, mate.
Was it?
They scored. Well, Birmingham equalised in like the 92nd minute, 4-4, and then Leeds went up the other end and Birmingham scored an own goal. It was a crazy game of football. Crazy. Why do you always get these sort of games over Christmas?
Do you know what it is? Tiredness and things like that. I think within the team, it's always good for goals if teams are tired. Mr. Fong, can we get an Xmas song like Gonzo gave us?
Christmas is over now. You have to wait till next year.
Yeah, ask us on Christmas Eve.
We'll do your Valentine's Day song.
Ashley Fletcher scored a banger too, says Emma's chat.
Yeah, I see that. That was a great finish. And I'm sure like he might have stuck a little finger up at Bilic as he run past to celebrate.
Josh Brown says if Moyes wants a striker, St. Toussaint is available and would flourish under Moyes. I'll be honest, mate. We just need a forward. We need a forward that's used to the league and can score goals. Anything else to talk about? Well, I know this has been massively dominated by the news today. Anything else going on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really much more going on apart from the managerial situation. And I'm not going to say I'm in shock, but I'm still a bit, as I said earlier, I'm still in a bit two minds whether I'm happy with the appointment or I just think to myself now, right, fuck it, it is what it is. Let's just get on with it. And listen, as I said, I will get behind David Moyes as I did last time, as I did Pellegrini, as I did Big Sam, as I did even Avram Grant when he first took over. Because you want your managers to do well, because if your manager's doing well, you're winning games, everyone's happy. But at West Ham, it's just a roller coaster of emotions at West Ham. It's what it is supporting West Ham. This is the life of West Ham.
I didn't mean to click that one. Billy Iden says, "What are your opinions on Haller?"
Sebastian Haller, yeah, I think he's been made a bit of a scapegoat lately. He's been up there on his own. As I said, when Antonio played, I remember the first time they played together was when he come back from injury, was Tottenham at home. And Antonio come on second half. And they look really well together. And every time I've seen them play together since, they link up well. So I like Haller. He needs to start scoring goals, though, because that's always not what he's brought in for, but that's what strikers are mainly get remembered for, how many goals they scored. And we thought he was going to be our 20-plus a goal season striker. And I think he's only got, five goals, is it, so far this season? So he needs a good second half of the season to make that 20 plus.
The thing is with him is, I think you're right. It's been made a bit of a scapegoat. This might boost him because when he came in, them couple of games when he did score some goals, he looked like a class act. He looked like he was going to go on and score a lot of goals. But I said this before: when you're training so shit, when everything's going rubbish, when the confidence is low and you're not creating chances, it's hard to keep running into the space when you're not getting the ball. It's hard. Like as a player, like it's hard to just keep on making the same runs and hoping for people to do it when they just don't do it. And I think that's what it's come down to. He's lacking confidence himself. He hasn't been playing with a partner, which is where he flourishes. We're not playing to the strength of his game. At the end of the day, he's our record signing. We need to, you need to build a team around him. You need to do the things that get the best out of him because he's the goal scorer at the end of the day. He's the match winner. That's why you pay so much money for centre forwards. And I think that if you at least get someone around him that can, that can run defenders and at least get a couple of people on the wing that can whip the fucking ball in, because the amount of times the fullbacks and the right and left wingers, because of our lack of pace, because of our lack of getting beyond the man, the amount of times they cut back and just don't deliver and allow defenders to get back into possession and set themselves is a joke. Like that's Sunday League stuff. That's Sunday League stuff. That you get results by putting in early balls across the box in dangerous areas. You can't give defenders time, especially defenders in the Premier League, time to set themselves because you won't get results. You look at the way Man United and Tottenham and that score goals, they fizz the ball across early. You look at that goal that Lucas Moura scored last against Tottenham against West Ham. It comes from the early fucking ball. Most defences, not ours, but most defences are organised. They must think it's the bollocks in training because our defenders ain't organised at all. But in the Premier League, you need to play with a bit of pace and a bit of directness, and we don't do that. We cut back too much, and
that's one thing we're lacking a lot of is pace, especially in midfield. And I'm hoping that David Moyes and Sullivan have identified at least 3 or 4 players that they're going to look to bring in January to improve the team. And as you said, we definitely need someone up there with Haller. We need another option. We need a different option because when you're taking off Sebastian Haller, really Antonio's not a striker, is he? He's a right winger. So we need, if Antonio picks up an injury again, you can't be looking for when Haller's got to come off. You're bringing on a Yeti or who else have we got on the bench that plays up front?
We ain't,
have we? So there's definitely different options there that we need. So hopefully they'll have identified targets, and I'm sure they'll be working on them. Well, from today.
Peter Pieces, what do you think about getting Aarons from Norwich? I've got no opinion on that, mate. I'm afraid because I don't know nothing about it.
He's a good player, but I think with Norwich, it's tough. I mean, if we had 30 million I'd go and offer it for Pukki. I'd go and get Pukki from Norwich, but they won't. They're in trouble themselves, so. They're not.
It's going to be tough to buy anyone from them. I'll tell you. Smith as Daniel says, Jovic from Real Madrid on loan for the rest of the season with you to buy. Pay the money.
That might have happened if we got Kovac. that might have happened, but I don't think that's going to happen now. That'd be tough because this is the one thing that worries me as well. Is that, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to David Moyes, but.
He's not an attraction, is he?
Even at Man United, he wasn't an attraction. And you think Man United are biggest club in the world, and he couldn't really even attract big name players to the club then. So it's going to be tough. So you're going to have to be looking around sort of our level of players. And when I mean that, I mean players from clubs around us. We're not going to be signing big name players and top signings. That's just how it is. And we ain't got the money to do that either. But if we had any chance of getting him, 100% you take him.
Harry Pierce, you're banned, mate. We're not having any of that in here. Snazzy TV, how does the ball change your perception of them if hypothetically they cake out and apologise for everything tomorrow?
I mean, if they come out and sat down and in front of the fans and maybe begged for mercy and explained a few things a bit more and done this and done that. But we know they're not going to do that. So, you know, we've offered them a chance to come on our channel and explain themselves and answer a few questions, but they won't. So it's about engaging with the fans. And as you pointed out yesterday, and we spoke about it the other week, at Upton Park, they used to have to walk through the crowd so you could get your opinions off your chest, but you wouldn't scream and shout at them. You'd stand there and talk to them, and they'd talk to you back. But now, as you said, you don't even see them at a London Stadium. They come in a car park that you're not allowed access to, and they're straight out the ground after. So it's about engaging with the fans more, I think, if they want to have any other. Because I remember going to fans forums at Upton Park, and David Gold used to attend them. Sullivan used to attend them.
What's this,
with
mate?
the players? You know,
fan forum.
Fan forums. I've been to a couple at Upton Park. I remember going to one with David Gold when he was there with Kevin Nolan and Colton Cole, I think it was. And then there was another one where David Sullivan was there. I know they still do them now, but the owners don't go. The owners don't go no more. And I think they've lost that connection with the fans in that way.
They've lost it because they don't want it anymore, mate. They know.
To be fair, they're probably too scared.
Well, this is the thing, mate. If you sit there telling lies to everyone, then you know when it comes on top, it's like I don't know. It's like the con man, isn't it? You know what I mean? You sit there and the confidence tricks you. Sit there and fucking tell everyone all you want to, you know, to convince them to do what you want them to do. But then as soon as you get found out, you don't want to see them again, do you? You don't want to sit back in front of them and say, no, you know, I'm sorry and all that. They ain't gonna want to do that. They don't want to see fans anymore. They're waiting. They've got about 18 months left on their contract.
I've just got images of Gold and Sullivan seeing the fans going to each other. Dave, fucking run!
Yeah,
just run into the stadium.
They don't want to see him. You know what I mean? Like David Gold, people say about David Gold. I remember David Gold being approached, and I don't agree with this sort of thing, right? But I remember David Gold being approached a couple of years ago, and some fan like losing the plot with him, and he's going, "I'm 80 years old. So what? You know what I mean? You'll get out then. If you can't stand the heat, you know these are the things you have to engage with fans. And if you keep them running away, and the only way people can engage with you is to fucking chase you down and fucking start screaming and shouting in your face, then you know it's not really helpful for the fan, is it? You know, all the fans.
I remember that incident, and it was because that they didn't engage with the fans no more. But as I said, at Upton Park, that you would have approached David Gold and you would have said to him, "Look, and they stand there and they would have spoke to you." But him and Sullivan don't do that no more, and you do
because they haven't got the answers to the questions, mate.
You don't even see them on. You hardly see them on match days now, do you? And another thing as well, it's like whenever they do something on the to respect a player or Remembrance Day, it's always David Gold that comes down. You never see David Sullivan come down to the pitch, do you? Probably because his little legs will make it to the centre spot.
The last time I saw him go to the pitch, he looked like he was kneeling on a pair of shoes.
Yeah, that was last game at the bowling, wasn't it? His little legs wouldn't make it, bless him.
Fucking
man. But I just think, I mean, I've seen a lot of things on Twitter today, people planning protests and saying they're going to walk out after 10 minutes and they're going to have their flags and banners. And look, I've got no problem with that. If people want to do that, that's fine. But I don't want it to get to the point where people start threatening people, saying if you don't do it, you're not West Ham and all that. But I'll be sitting in my seat supporting the team because that's what I go to football for, to support my team because I want to see us winning. Me walking out the stadium for 10 minutes ain't going to make no fucking difference.
Nick Blackman donated $4.99. Thank you very much. Says, look, I feel for Moyes because as Bruce, West Ham and Newcastle, the owners just don't care. Just enjoy it because this will end in tears for GSB.
Yeah, as we've always said, mate, whatever happens with these owners, even if we went on to win the Premier League in 2 years, these owners will always be the owners that took us away from our home. They're always going to be remembered for that. They're not. No, you can't really remember the good times with Golden Sullivan. I remember when they come in the club, as I said last night, they come into the club. I remember everyone was sort of excited about it because it was British owners, West Ham fans, and even when we suffered the relegation under them, it was a good thing for the club because we went down, we got rid of the deadwood from the previous ownership, and we rebuilt. we got up under Big Sam and we become a mid-table team. But we've gone since we've gone into this new stadium. We've gone backwards, and as I said, I've never had nothing wrong with them owners having ambition, wanting to move us to a big 60,000 seater stadium, competing with the European elite. When they say things like that, you think, but they never backed it up, and they've never delivered that, and we've just gone backwards and backwards and backwards.
The thing is with us, right? We always mention a stadium. We talk sometimes like we're the only team that's ever moved to stadium. Look at the lot that just beat us at London Stadium on Saturday. They left Filbert Street. Filbert Street was a very old ground. I've been to Filbert Street a couple of times. Filbert Street was a very old ground. A lot of similarities to Upton Park, and they moved them into the King Power Stadium. Blah blah blah, and you know they went down to Championship. They went down to they come back up to the Premier League. Was struggling and all that. But the owners, like little things, and I keep on talking about the owners, and it pisses me off that the news is all about them. But you look at the way that club is run now, right? There's a real structure there. There's a real rapport between fans. Like I would hate to say this, right? But they lost their owner in a tragic accident. Yeah, can you imagine what would have happened if one of our owners went the same way? It wouldn't be the same sort of public perception, if you know what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I sort of understand what you're saying there. The Leicester chairman that sadly passed away was well respected at Leicester, and he's loved, and he still is. And it's little things that Leicester do for their fans that go a long way. Like even the other day, they bought all their fans a beer and a free drink to say thank you. Most times you see Leicester, they put a free scarf or a T-shirt or something, or they lay on free travel and stuff like that. And it's little things like that that don't mean a lot to the owners, probably don't cost them nothing, but it means the world to the fans. And that's the difference between good owners and shit owners.
Andy WHU 93, where's our free train travel as promised in 2010? All other London clubs do this. Never heard of it, mate. If I'm honest.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I never heard of that, but that's interesting if they did say that.
Nicky, do you mind if I voice my opinion on West Ham Fan TV on New Year's Day? If you're at the ground, mate, come and see us. No problem.
That picture, that was Mr. Wilson out of Dennis.
Mr. Wilson, yeah. That's what I thought it was, yeah. Nicky, give us a wave. Hello. That's it. I think... I'm getting a bit drained, Ryan, if I'm honest.
It's West Ham, innit? It's what it does to you. But look, as we said, let's just try and sort of get behind David Moyes and give him a chance at least, because you never know. You never know, mate. It's going to be tough, but look, he's got half a season now to try to turn it around. Which I think he will. As I said, even under Pellegrini, if he'd have stayed, I still think we'd have stayed up. It wouldn't have been great, but I still think we'd have stayed up. But look, let's give Moyes a chance, and hopefully, who knows? Who knows how we can end this season?
Right. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Live and Uncut. When will we be back? Thursday? No, is it New Year's Day Thursday? I don't know.
I thought, do you know what? I thought it was Thursday's day. It's Sunday today, isn't it? My day's all over the place, mate. So we're playing.
So do I.
We're playing Wednesday, aren't we?
We're playing Wednesday, so
New
we will
Year's
be back
Day, so we'll be
Thursday.
back Thursday, yeah.
With another Live and Uncut. Thank you very much
Merry
for everyone
Christmas.
in the chat that's got involved in the chat today. I hope you had a great Christmas and have a very happy New Year. We'll be back for the next couple of days with the build up to Bournemouth and more reactions to whatever comes along our way this week. So,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. One thing left to say.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.